February, we've been frantically working on the reserve to try and get our number 1 pit island ready for the wading nesting birds. So these are birds that nest on the ground, and they lie ideally sort of quite bare ground, a lot of stone, maybe some tussocks of grass and juncus for their chicks to then hide amongst, but they need the ground to camouflage their eggs initially whilst they're sitting on them. What we've found over the years is that we have a lot of vegetation out there, and the birds are less inclined to use it. So we have had our digger and our volunteer Brian out on the island scraping back some of the vegetation. We've also been out, Tom and I, with brush cutters, cutting down the juncus, which will then go back into little tussocks for the chicks, but it gets rid of the big tussocks that a fox can hide in. Additionally, because although the birds can now see better and avoid a fox, we still are worried about predators. We've had a lot of failed nests. We go to the extent of putting in an anti-predator fence. So this is an electric fence. I am wielding one of the fence peg poles here. What happens is we install these all the way around a large area of the island, and on every one of these we run through a line of the wire like this. So we run 12 big reels of wire like this, right round, running through each of these, which we call insulators. We position it so they're very small gaps at the bottom, and then they gradually become larger, and so that nothing can push through the bottom, nothing can jump through midway, nothing can jump over. This is then electrified off the mains, but through an energizer which converts it to a safe electric pulse like you'd use for livestock, except it's coming out of 12 strands. So it takes a lot of fiddling with, as you can imagine, but we have got it up and running for the year. The aim is to keep out primarily fox, because we do see evidence of them on the island, and they will come and take both the birds and their eggs and their chicks. Possibly also mink, because they're a pretty voracious predator and they will also decimate nests. So that's why the wires are very close together at the base, because your mink is like a ferret in shape, really. So it's like it'll worm its way through anything. So we get all that set up. And then as a final little touch for this year, because we couldn't afford to buy gravel to cover the island, and we can't scrape off enough material to uncover the original gravel, we've simply taken out patches of fine gravel and made lots and lots of little nesting pockets on the habitat itself. So we've scraped back the moss, made some nesting pockets. Hopefully the birds will enjoy it. So once the electric is on, as I've said, it is like a livestock electric fence. It gives a really short, sharp pulse of electric, which just makes you jump back. You know, I've tried it to test it out. So it is not intended to kill anything or harm anything, and not even, you know, if a bird touches it. We obviously don't want to be killing the wildlife or even, say, harming it, but the principle is that it gives a really short, sharp kick of electric which deters it. They very, very quickly learn. So we're not out on the island at present. We have pretty much finished off. We are just going to do a final check maybe in a couple of days' time. We have put a finishing round of string around the top of the fence to make it more visible, so that we don't have any geese flying into it. We need to make sure we don't get any accidental collisions. And when we went out to check just a couple of days ago, we already had the lapwings pairing and an activity out there. So we're now going to step back and leave the birds to enjoy the habitat.